What's up, guys? I'm about to read Ecclesiastes 4:4. I think that's going to be all. I just wanted because at the end of the last one, I had actually kind of misread it, and I had to make sure I wasn't fucking up because I don't know. I just kind of sped by it, but it was saying that who knows where the spirit of man or where the beast goes. So live in a moment because you don't know what you're doing. But that's in the idea of people, that's lost or some shit. Like, I know I'm doing righteous and I know where the fuck I'm heading. Like, but in that same aspect, I did keep reading just to make sure that I make sure I didn't present it in the wrong way. Because I said that we look the same, but we don't act the same. And now this kind of get into it more. So I just wanted to finish it up. So I returned and considered this Ecclesiastes 4:1. So I returned considering all the oppression that are done under the sun, and behold, the tears of such were oppressed, and they had no comforter. And on the side of their oppression there was power, but they had no comforter. Where I praised the dead which already dead, than the living which are yet alive. But in another one it says, I commend the dead for being dead or whatever, I'm gonna get it. It'll make more sense. Let me see. Where I praise the dead which is already dead more than the living which are yet alive, and that's where I say it make more sense. Yet, yeah, better is than both thee which have not been yet, who have not seen evil work that has not been done under the sun. And that's talking about a new type of people in a sense. People that's not dead and people that's not trying to oppress. And in another translation, it said no comforter, but another one said it was helpless. And like I talked about in the last video, if you're not gonna help yourself or you're not gonna make that change, shit, it's cool because you died. That's the step. Instead of oppressing people, you're dead. But what's the next step after death? Becoming a god, in a sense. But in a sense, very, very much in a sense, because I made it seem easy, but. Okay, and again, I consider all the travail and every right work, that for this man is envy of his neighbor. This is also vanity and vexing of the spirit. This fool foldeth his hands together and eateth his own flesh. Better is a handful with quietness than both hands full with travail and vexing of the spirit. And that's why I said we might look the same, but we act different. Like, somebody might say they love you, but they envy you. They might, bro. I don't need to get into that shit. Then I returned and I saw vanity under the sun. There is one alone, and there is not a second. Yet he hath neither child nor brother. Yet there is no end of all his labor. Neither is his eye satisfied with riches. Neither saith he for whom do labor. I'm just gonna try to read this off to myself real quick, because I'm not trying to read word for word. And she got hella wordy, hella quick. Okay, it says two are better than one, because they have good rewards for their labor. For all, if they fall, one can lift his fellow. But woe to him that is alone, he is fallen, for have not another to help him. Again, if two lie together, they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him. And therefore cord is not and if one prevail against him, two shall withstand, and threefold cords is not quickly broken. And that's just saying, like, I mean, it sounds gay because you keep saying man and man and man, but nigga, just human. Like, if you had a brother or a sister or anybody, like, why not work with them instead of working against them? And that's why I talk about survival. Like, everybody, like, if the world, like, if the like society ended right now, everybody go crazy. Well, that's because everybody's been misled and everybody has no wisdom and true knowledge. That's how it goes to show, like, all this education, but we still savages underneath. We just faking this fucking illusion. No bullshit. And in that same aspect, why not work together? Why do we have to have more than somebody else? Why can't we share equally? Why can't... And I talk about nature all the time. Like, bears choose to hunt alone so they can eat more of the catch themselves, where wolves are not as strong as bears, but they're faster, so they rather work in as packs. Yeah, you might not get to eat the whole meal to yourself, but your meals will come closer in between versus a bear. His shit gonna be far in between because he gotta take it down on his own. And that's the same. This the same proverb, or I mean not proverb, parable. I'm sorry, but yeah, man, it's like we choose to work outside each other. We choose to envy each other. We choose to like think other people is better than us, and that's vanity. Like I said, like it said before, like you mad at your neighbor, but that's your spirit. And instead of working with your neighbor to get what he got, if you did want it, you'd rather just take it. And that shit, it just go to show, like I said, we don't have wisdom. We really don't have morals or faith. And this shit, only reason we happy is because the status quo is okay. As soon as that status quo change, niggas going to be chaotic. All this God and all this Christ and all this shit gonna go out the fucking window. And it's already been going out the window. But I'm just saying, when it really get real, like when hurricanes and shit happen, you see niggas don't be abiding by laws because they like, fuck the law. And it's the same shit. Like, if shit get too real, they gonna be like, fuck God. And that's just go to show just who these people are, bro. You really don't believe. You really have no faith. And many people have already been doing that. They've been said fuck God, either because they've been oppressed and nobody helped them. When, I mean, like I said, you should be trying to help yourself. Or if you was the oppressor, like either way it go, like you just on the wrong side of it. But let's see, the fertility of power. Better is poor and a wise child than an old foolish king who will not. I'm gonna go to another one. I hate that translation. I don't even know who picked that translation. Who picked that shit? I do not remember picking that shit. See, that's why that shit had got hella wordy, because I didn't pick the right translation. And I ain't starting over. I did good enough. Alright, better was a poor and wise youth than an old foolish king who no longer knew how to take advice. For he went from one prison to the throne through his own kingdom. He had been born poor. And that's like talking about rising from. Bobby Hemmett talk about is like we doing some shit that's never been done before. And I just talked about in the beginning of this how I just go back to the top. But better than both who has not seen the evil deeds. I definitely read that wrong, but just have not been born yet, have not been baptized in this evilness. And that's what we are, bro. Like, there's been people that's been oppressed, and there's been people that's dead. You can call the dead the masses, you can call the oppressors the 1%. But it's another people that'll rise out of that won't go against themselves. They won't stop until they achieve what they need to achieve, and that's us. Better a poor and wise youth than an old foolish king, because an old foolish king, yeah, you got your shit, but you so content and comfortable in what you have. You're not growing still. You stopped growing so long ago. Versus a poor wise youth, like he got so much life to live in the sense of the things that he gonna learn. Like, yeah, he might not have the foundation that other people see, but his foundation is gonna be so much grander than the king that you listening to now, because he doesn't operate the same. They might look the same in the sense of no, they don't look the same because one got riches, one don't. But they both might stand 6'2". They both might look good, but at the end of the day, the one that's wise is gonna always prevail. Let's see. For he went from prison to the throne, like, bro. And they're not talking about the throne of the earthly realm. They're talking about our kingdom. We went from the prison of this place to our kingdom. He had been born poor. I saw all the living who moved about under the sun, along with that youth who was to stand in the king's place. And that's why the 1%ers or the elite or the energies that's behind this world, they don't want us to rise, because we're going to take their place, and we're going to keep this, like, we're going to be the true mediators of this world. Not like these people act like with this fake ass democracy. There was no end of all the people, all of whom he led. There was no end of all the people, all whom he led. Yet those who come later will not rejoice in him. Surely this is also vanity and striving after the wind. Okay, I kind of got lost there. There was no end of all the people. Let me see. The youth was a stand in the king. Let's use another translation, maybe. There was no end to all the people who were before them. Okay, there was no end to all the people who were before them. Like the people before us, they were gonna keep living in that meaningless bullshit cycle of life. Oh, let's finish reading. But to those who later came, were not pleased with the successors, our ancestors. Come on, man, y'all gotta wake up. We keep following these people blindly, and they're not the answer. This too is meaningless and a chase after the wind. And can we let that just sit there? We follow our parents, our grandparents, their grandparents, the government, kings, celebrities. They don't got the answers. I say this shit day in and day out, bro. And it gets tiring. Like, there's no end to all the people. All who he led. Okay, I already read that one. I'm trying to read another one just to hit more. There's no limit to all the people were before them. Like, nigga, it's infinite amount of dead people, bro. If you want to like talk about all the people that ain't shit, it's gonna you gonna be able to keep going forever and ever and ever. It's endless. The cycle of depression and oppression and all that shit is endless. The masses is endless. That's why they the masses. Yet those who come later will not rejoice in the successor. Cause that's just saying our ancestors again. Like, bro, that was the best one. But those who came later, this is the New International Version. There was no end to all the people who were before them, but those who came later were not pleased with the successors, bro. Like, fuck! I'm so like that. Like, I be trying to tell people, bro. And I know I don't be tripping. Like, nigga. The people before us failed us. No matter if you think your ancestors did whatever. Like, yeah, they did good, but they also did bad. And if you were holistic, you will see that. And you will learn from all of the things that they did, not just the good things. And once you're holistic, bro, like, you understand. But following them, like I said, is meaningless. A chase in the wind. Guard your steps when you go to the house of God. Okay, yeah, there's something else. But, man, I might end up finishing Elastics myself and then just going through a rundown like I did Mark and like I did Obadiah and Romans. Like, it's so much, bro. It's just like, I don't even read the Bible because it just confirms my ego and the things that I understand about life. Like, it only makes me more madder at the people that's not utilizing the book that call themselves so-called Christians. Or anybody that's so-called religions, because all y'all books got information in it. All y'all book got hidden gems that's way deeper than the surface level bullshit talking about human morals and opening the door for people. Like, nigga, this shit way bigger than that. If you ain't know, the people that taught you that didn't really know shit, bro. They were just trying to fit into society with this holding door shit. Like, so you try to practice this shit with good morals and eating, don't put your elbows on the table and see how far that gets you with God. Like, that's what the shit we were taught, not to smack when you eat. Like, that shit don't get you nowhere. That's not spiritual shit. That's physical shit. That's vanity. Shit that don't really matter. Illusional shit. Like, I'm hungry, so I'm eating like a motherfucker. But now I gotta eat all pretty and shit. And Lauren here was talking about that shit. Like, women want to eat all pretty in front of their man, and you gotta keep these illusions. Same with men. Like, they wanna, you buy women all these flowers and shit. Now you gotta keep that bullshit illusion up. Instead of just being real with them from the jump. Like, I ain't offering. Like, I was talking to a girl recently. She like, what do you have to offer me? Shit. I'm just trying to help you wake up. I'm not here to offer you anything. I don't want to give you nothing. I'm not about to act like I can give you something. You got everything you already need. All I'm trying to do is be a reminder. That's all. And I mean, like I said, bro, I'm not about to give people illusions. I'm not about to be like, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. I am what the fuck I am. And if you can't accept it, deuces. Like, women so much do it, men do it so often. Like, bro, you put on these fronts. You try to be all this and that. So when you try to get comfortable, the nigga like, well, why did you just take off your whole wig? Like, where did that come from? You got more hair under? Like, I'm being funny. Like, I don't give a fuck. You can do that around me. I take that bitch off myself, like, because that hoe itching my arm. I don't give a fuck. But other niggas, like, they used to that bougie white colonizer shit. So if you always up to that, your nails always, like, that's what a nigga gonna want you to always do. That's why niggas like, I don't want stretch marks, because they live like fucking bitches now. They became bitches. That's all I can really say, bro. That's all I can say. Because these women have wanted to do so much things, so now they're glamorized. Now men looking at the top glamour girl, and if you ain't got what she got, you fried. Or she ain't got stretch marks, or she ain't got body fat. But that's because we think she the shit, but everybody glamorizing her when she ain't shit. Everybody, like, ain't nobody better than nobody when it really come down to it. Like I said, dust to dust. It's all about the spirit. All this physical shit, vanity. Point blank.